Good morning everybody. This morning I'm coming to you from the Scenic Rim. I'm at a little location just out of Rathdowney towards Mount Barney National Park, and right now I'm just looking at Mount Barney and Mount Maroon over the side. It's pretty nice here, and I'm going to quickly set up my camera now because I really want to get a shot of Mount Barney just in this pre-dawn light because the sun's going to come up very soon. So just bear with me for a second while I set up my camera. This morning I've brought two cameras with me for taking photos. The first one, of course, is my Hasselblad 503CX. We all know I can't leave home without this camera. And I've got some Velvia loaded in it from last week, and I really would like to get a couple of shots with the Velvia, Velvia can be quite hard. So if I do it now, before the sun comes up, we should have pretty even lighting because everything's fairly well lit, fairly evenly lit, I should say, as the sun's starting to come up just behind me. So I'm just going to grab a meter reading. I've got the 150mm lens on. I'm going to shoot at f11. I am using my Minolta spot meter like I usually do. Just wait for it to fire up. Set the ASA. I like to make sure I meter for the correct ISO with slide film. Unlike negative film, it's a little bit more, you have to be a bit more spot on. So I'll grab one reading for the sky. So if I'm at f11, going for 2 seconds. If I look at the mountain, it's a stop difference, which isn't too bad. Yeah, so 2 seconds for the sky at f11 and 4 seconds for the mountain. So I'll grab two exposures. I'll bracket them just to make sure, because with slide film, I'd rather take the two and know that I've got one. Dark slide out, mirror locked up, focus to infinity. Here we go. Okay. So now I've got that shot, I'm pretty happy. I do have a wide angle lens here. I might quickly throw that on and see if I can grab a wide angle shot before I put the other camera on. So I know my usual wide angle lens is the 60mm f3.5. Today I brought the 50mm, which is an f4. I don't use it all that often because I just find I prefer the perspective of the 60. But this morning I did bring it, and there is a good reason for that. There we go, so I can get Mount Lindsay and Mount Barney. I do love the viewfinder of the Hasselblad, so I just thought I'd show you that scene through the viewfinder. And here is what I'm looking at. So that little mushroom-shaped mountain you can just see there on the left-hand side behind this other mountain is Mount Lindsay. And if we just pan across here, this is Mount Barney that was the main focus of my photo. And if we go a little bit further, we've got Mount Maroon over here. So Mount Maroon looks bigger than Mount Barney, but it's not. It's just because it's closer. I don't think I'm going to get any good shots of it today. There is a reason I brought the 50mm, not the 60, and it's not related to the Hasselblad. It's actually to do with the other camera I've brought with me, which I'll show you in just a second. Let me just grab one more meter reading here. I'm just going to take one for the sky again, because that's what I really want to get exposed correctly. So that's giving me 1 second at f11, which is pretty reasonable, that's good. f11 and 1 second. I'm focused to infinity. I've already got the dark side out, mirror locked up. There we go. Just going to grab that again, just to make sure I've got it, because that's a pretty nice frame there too. So just in the last minute or two, the sky and the clouds are starting to get a little bit pink, so it's actually looking pretty nice. I might actually, 50 is almost a bit wide, I might switch back to the 150 and just see if I can get a shot with any of the clouds. They are a little bit higher, as in their position in the frame, a little bit higher than might be easy to frame, but let's have a look. It'd be worth it if I can. So just switch back to the 150mm. It's not looking like I can easily frame any of the clouds with Mount Barney anyway, and they're not super pink. So I'm just going to grab another frame towards Mount Barney itself, I think, just because a little bit of colour to the sky behind the mountain. It's a quarter of a second at f11 because the sun is coming up, and 1 second on the mountain. So we've got a 2-stop difference there. So I will actually shoot that properly too. I'll grab 1 second on the mountain first. But with Velvia that will blow out the sky, so I'll do a quarter of a second as my meter told me for that sky. And that, I still have a few frames to go with this Velvia, but I might save it because I might get something with the sun rising over there. What I might do now is get this other camera out. Pretty excited about it. I only got it the other day. So this is my new camera. It is a Fujifilm GFX50R medium format camera. So this is a digital medium format, 50 megapixels or 51 megapixels, rangefinder style body, not the SLR style body like the 50S or the newer cameras as well. But I like the rangefinder style body. I think it suits my shooting fairly well. The SLR would work just fine, but the smaller size and weight of this works in well, since I like to go hiking a little bit. I only just got this camera this week, so I'm pretty keen to try it out. I've taken one shot already, I must admit. I don't have any Fuji lenses for it, so I'm adapting my Hasselblad lenses, which works quite well. So let me just quickly get this set up because I've got some color coming on Mount Barney. So I'm going to use the 150mm Hasselblad lens, which will be a little more cropped in on this camera than it is on the Hasselblad. I just need to muck around quickly with this camera. I am still pretty new to it. Okay, so I'm focused to infinity already. So I've got a shot here of Mount Barney, and there is just getting the first of the morning sunlight on it. So it's very cool. Well, I still get used to this camera. I don't want to lose the sky. I'm going to underexpose by stop. So I've got ISO 100 and 1/15 of a second at f11, 2-second timer. There we go, that's a satisfying noise. It's a nice loud shutter. Now hopefully I've got that shot. I don't think I even need to bracket with this camera. It's got that much dynamic range. I've got an 80mm lens as well. 80mm, I hear you saying? You never use an 80mm on your Hasselblad? No, I do not. This one is for a different kind of Hasselblad. Now I'm going to quickly scoot back to Mount Barney over here. I can get a pretty sweet shot in. I'm still shooting at 1/15 of a second at f11, 2-second timer. I might try and shoot a panorama. I know that sounds a bit crazy with the 50 megapixel camera because that's going to end up a really big file, but this 80mm lens, which gives on this camera I believe about a 60-ish or thereabouts on 35mm full frame. All right, so I'm going to start over here. I usually aim to keep my panoramas to 6:17 ratio. And that's how I sort of compose them when I shoot them, so that my final crop is at that 6:17. I like it's more or less 1:3. I don't like anything wider than that. Sometimes I don't mind the 1:2 ratio as well, but the 1:3 or very close to 6:17 is my favorite panorama. And this is going to be the last frame of my pano. So what I might do now, now that I've got these cool shots of the mountain, I might actually, there's a couple of cows which might look nice if some light hits them, but I'm going to duck across the other side here where the sun is actually coming up and see if I can get a frame over there. currently finding it really hard to get the camera set up because the grass is so swishy. Even with the tripod it moves a lot. But I've just come across the road to where the sun's actually been rising. I don't think I'm going to get anything good. I was here last weekend actually, so this is not my first time at this location, and it was beautiful and misty in the valley, whereas this morning there was no mist at all in the valley. There's a tiny bit over there where we just were, but here there is none. So I'm going to shoot at f11 again. Now that it's much brighter over here, I'm going to shoot to the highlights. So I might shoot at 1/100th, 1/80th of a second, just so that I can maintain the detail in the sky. I'm still using the 80mm. It's actually not a bad perspective here. 2-second timer. But I think that's good. I got the sky exposed well, which is the main thing. This camera will have so much dynamic range that I don't really have to worry about the shadows too much. There is this beautiful tree here, which I got a couple of nice shots of last week. I may even put a couple of the shots from last week into this one, just because they were really nice since we haven't got the same conditions here. Well, that's me done for the morning. I don't know that I got any really amazing shots this morning because the conditions were not as good as last weekend, but it was really nice to come out this morning and just get out here in the countryside. It was really nice to play with this new camera, my GFX50R. I'm super excited to have this. I've been wanting to get one for a long time. I've been saving for a long time. So now I finally have one. I'm really excited. I think I might have gotten a couple of nice shots overlooking towards Mount Barney just before the sunrise and just after. But I don't know that I got anything really nice out over here towards the east. There just wasn't the mist and the cloud that there was last weekend, so it wasn't quite as nice. But still, you got to be in it to win it. I'm going to head home now, have a look at the files out of this camera. They should be pretty nice, I imagine. And we'll see what we get. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. I'm really happy you've come along. Please don't forget to like my video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Maybe subscribe if you're interested in my content, and leave any comments you have. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming. I'll see you next time.